So let's speak to Stephen Morris, who's General Secretary of the Workers of England, to see what he makes of it all. Stephen, very good morning to you.
Morning, Mike.
Thanks very much for talking to us. I'm not sure where we are with Labour anymore, because every single day there seems to be one kind of flip-flop after another. You know, Keir Starmer on the one hand says he's going to be very proud of Angela Rayner and what she stood for. He then sort of admits that he has to let her go. He's now trying to water down, we are told, the Workers' Rights Bill, and the unions are kicking off about it.
Well, Keir Starmer's only going to be liable to his paymasters, aren't he? And his paymasters are the unions.
Yeah.
And at the moment, they just don't seem to have any idea about the economy and how to get people into work. They're doing everything they can to make it more difficult for businesses to grow and to recruit. We've seen recent figures where unemployment's gone up for 4.7% now.
Yeah.
The amount of jobs that are being advertised, the latest figure I saw was nearly 750,000 job vacancies have been pulled in 3 months alone. And so businesses are really struggling. And then you're going to bring something in that's going to cost businesses a lot more money to do and implement. And both the unions and Labour seem to be anti-worker. They just don't seem to be wanting to get people in work. And getting people in work actually has a benefit for the national debt and taxes, because it then takes them off the benefit system.
Yeah.
So, but some of the policies within the bill, it's just smoke and mirrors.
Right.
You know, like the flexible working, it says they're going to have a day one right to flexible working. The employer's got to say yes, but then they've got the same reasons of rejecting it as they've already got.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
and I mean, the one thing they seem to be specialising in is getting people out of work rather than into work, because they're talking about now using Pat McFadden to sort of, you know, focus, laser focus, as they like to say, on trying to get people off welfare. Surely one of the things you would want to do in that instance is to provide them with an opportunity to go and do some work rather than do no work.
Exactly. You know, you've got to allow the businesses to grow. You've got to allow them to invest. You've got to allow them to recruit. Yeah. They're not doing that now. And we've just seen another business go into administration, another high street business with 140 odd stores. They've immediately shut 32. So we're still seeing the adverse effect of Rachel Reeves' economics, if you want to call them economics. And
voodoo economics, I think we used to call that, didn't we?
Yeah, and then that brings me on to the thing to do with the unfair dismissal one. Yeah, I do believe it should be shortened from the 2 years to probably 1 year. But again, it's going to be a backlog. ACAS already have a 2-week delay in a 6-week process, so they're already backlogged. People were making frivolous claims on all kinds of things. So what do you do when you find out you take somebody on and just outside of their probationary period, their CV wasn't quite accurate? You know, can you easily get rid of them? Well, Keir Starmer didn't get rid of somebody who wasn't quite accurate on their CV. You know?
Well, no, in fact, not just one, but possibly more than one. But what about this other story that's hit the papers this morning, which is about the number of people taking a fortnight off sick last year? This is according to a Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development study, which has found out that staff have taken an average of almost 2 full working weeks off because of illness over the past 12 months. As apparently it's being attributed to an ageing workforce and a rise in long-term health conditions, but of course the leading cause of it all is mental health absence.
It depends in which sector you're looking at. If you're looking at normal private sector, then you'll find that it's probably lower because they have tighter sickness regimes, tighter on sick pay. We've seen where in the public sector people can be off for a year on full pay before they start to see a drop. And so they're going to play the system. Some people will play the system and they will take that year off on various things. Yeah. So the public sector is the problem one that needs addressing, because a private business will not allow you to keep taking time off because of the adverse effect. And they don't have public money. They're directly responsible for how much money they bring in from their clients. So there's more mental health issue claims going on, and we've seen that. But again, it's the employer needs to deal with various items. Deal with it appropriately. Sure. I've just recently dealt with one who the employer had no clue how to deal with it. So we help the employer and the employee, because going forward he'd be able to help other employees and hopefully not have them going off. So, but at the moment, the labour supporting trade unions don't want to help the workers.
No.
They don't want to help the businesses. They just seem to want to fund and have a political agenda.
Of course. I mean, I saw a story yesterday about Ofgem, I think, in which it said that the Ofgem are paying something like £10,000 a day to keep their offices open and running and, you know, with electricity and all the rest of it. But except hardly anybody's ever in there because they all work from home.
Well, some working from home is quite okay. It depends what you want to do. But this goes, again, down to your workers' bill. They write straight from day one. Well, how are you going to track that person? And you've got a 9-month probationary period that the government wants to put in. Right. How are you going to track whether they're suitable or not? You know, you've got to have them in the office. You've got to be able to see how they're working. And some businesses need you in the office.
Yeah.
It comes to training, other people in the offices knock off each other. So if you're in an office environment, people in that office learn from each other. You know, they have a social environment as well as a business environment, and they learn from each other what the business is doing, how to assist the business and how to assist their colleagues. Working from home, that's where some mental health problems occur. And we saw that during the lockdowns, where there was people in one-bed flats being told to work from home, and their mental health actually increased. And so you've got to get people out of the house at times. And their mental health gets better, you know, different environments, different people.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, sitting around on your own at home is never going to be a good thing, even if you were pretty well in the first place. Absolutely ridiculous. Listen, great to talk to you, Stephen. Thank you very much indeed. Stephen Morris, there, General Secretary of the Workers of England.